Greetings Internet, DDA here, and we are super excited to bring you the first Awakening Decklist video that we have. If you follow my Twitch channel, hey, check out my Twitch in the comments section below. You'll know that this is probably the most used deck that I have right now. I've been playing it solid for a good 2 months. After I heard that Devious was going away, I knew this was going to be the most powerful Trunks after Devious. So I got a good list that I'm working with now. I'm going to share it to all of you so you can play with and try it out at your local events or the ARG events that are coming up soon. So let's just scan over the list real quick. So now you're going to see that this list is just really super tight. I've been working on it for a while. And it plays a ton of drills, drill searchers, combo-tasticness. As you can see, this is actually Heroic Energy Sphere. Uses the new level 2 Trunks. And the level 3, to be honest with you, I'm thinking the Awakening 3 would be better. I actually don't even own Awakening 3 yet. But I wouldn't knock anyone for playing the Defiant level 3. I feel like the two are kind of interchangeable in an aggro beats deck. Alright, but now let's start by going over the attacks. So these are the attacks for my Ruthless Trunks combo sword. Oh yeah. So we got, of course, I said on the Trunks forum that I feel like Trunks Slam is a 3 of in every single Trunks build moving forward, because you need to be able to control combat against some of the more hyper aggro decks like Goku pretty much Rainbow, anything Goku. And it's really great in Ruthless because it's considered styled, so you're going to get the +2 mod on it. And also it's really great in Red style because of forward stance drill. So you pretty much can be able to activate Trunks Slam on command with forward stance drill at any point that you want. Super strong. Of course, we're going to be running the full sword package here. That's the Trunks Sword Slashes, the Sword Stabs, the Dashing Sword Attack. I kind of played around with dropping Trunks Sword Slash down to 2 copies, or maybe switching it out with Devastating Blow. But it just wasn't enough. Devastating Blow just didn't do enough damage. I didn't really need the extra anger in the build. The extra anger control was nice, but this card can actually pack a pretty powerful punch. You know, with the aggressive sword drill down, it's unpreventable. And the Banish 6 is just super strong. So I feel like in this deck it's justified. Plus it does crit on your level 2, the new Awakening level 2, probably the strongest level of Trunks in the game. With this build, like I said before, to be honest with you, I think I'm going to switch out both level 3 and level 4 Trunks for the Awakening level 3 and level 4 Trunks. I actually don't even own them yet. However, I do feel that the Evolution level 3 and level 4 Trunks are strong enough that if you do like them over the Awakening, you can interchange them in this deck easily. Like, it's an even swap, and I feel like they're both equal levels of power. But the Awakening 3, the reason I want it in this deck is because it compounds on the Ruthless buff, so you get the +4, and then you get an extra attack also. The Defiant is super strong for combos, like pulling out a Dashing Sword from your discard pile, super strong. Pulling out a Trunks Knee Bash on command, which is pretty much the greatest card that Trunks got in Awakening. Just super strong. Like, the level of Trunks power jump that he got with this card is, I can't even begin to tell you guys. Like, I dropped Red Cannon. If you looked at some of my earlier builds for this online, I dropped Red Cannon straight up for this card as soon as it was released, because you don't need Red Cannon. You don't need it when you have a sword attack in your deck, an extra sword attack. That just banishes setups and drills and attach cards. So Wall Breaker be gone, Black Capture, you know, it's good Unleash tech. It's just all around amazing. Plus it gives you anger. So of course we got the red heel kick, and this is just for combos because you're going to be able to get, you know, another sword stab. You're going to be able to get a freezing beam for you to help you do some crazy combos with drills we'll go over later. If you need some more defense, you can grab a power lift, go ham with beats with aerial assault, or you can grab one of these guys, which is one of the 6 drill tutors that we play from the deck. Now, why do we play this many drill tutors? Because we want our drills out as fast as possible, and we will talk about this a little more when we go over the drills, but we always want to be able to have our drills on the board. It's the reason that this deck is so strong. Like when you talk about a personality like Goku, who has inherent card advantage, the card advantage is obvious with Goku. Like it slaps you in the face, like you draw cards. But with someone like Trunks, the card advantage that you can play in your deck is a little bit less obvious. So what we're going to do to match Goku is we're going to play cards that tutor out drills, that allow us to have blocks on the board, that give us extra attacks during combat. And you'll just see the power, guys, if you play these cards. So we got Red Aerial Assault. I didn't originally play these. I added them in for more anger, and then also against the surgence of Resolute decks, prevention is becoming a serious issue. So I wanted to be able to shut down prevention as much as possible. So we have the cover drill, and then we have 3 Red Aerial Assaults to shut down prevention. 3 power lifts. I thought maybe this was going to be a little bit less of a physical meta after Brawly and 13 left, and now we have Goku. I thought Goku was going to be more energy beats, but it turns out he does play a lot of physicals, so power lift at 3 is just perfect. And Freezing Beam is actually our only energy attack in the deck, and it is not for damage. You do not play this for damage. You literally play this card. You don't even care if it does damage. You literally play this card, tutor out. This is the only drill searcher in the deck that can get... well, they're not the only drill searcher, but so I think this one, yeah, this gets drills, this gets style drills, so you can actually tutor out some of your freestyle drills with this, but this one can actually tutor out your freestyle drills, your non-style drills from the banish zone. So if they banish your hidden power drill, they banish your aggressive sword drill, you can get it back with the freezing beam, and also likewise you can get out and just run the train with your slicing drill, which we'll go over later. So that's the attack, guys. Really heavy physical setup, and just 3 energies for utility. So now let's go over the events and blocks. So these are the events and blocks that we're going to be playing. So as you can see, we run pretty heavy physical blocks. That's because this is a physical beatdown deck. So we are intending on stage locking the opponent. We are going to be pushing stage pressure. So we want the 3 red ducks for several reasons. One, this deck is very good at controlling your anger. Not necessarily leveling. If you want to level, you can. And I've often got to level 2 and sometimes even level 3 in games. However, the control that this deck has on your anger is high. So it's very easy for you to stay at 3 or 4 anger and get a very nice 3 or 4 rejuve with this card. So now you may be asking yourself, well, DDA, you're Ruthless and you're Trunks. You have Dashing Sword that's banished after use, Heel Kick's banished after use, Slam is banished after use. Why aren't you running Red Capture? And the answer is because this is a mid-range deck, so you want to go aggressive in the earlier state. Like, this is not a late game deck. You want to go aggressive as early as possible and really seal the game mid-game. So Capture is one of those cards that really doesn't get revved up until you get into the late game, until you get a full 10 cards in your banish zone. So I did try it out in here. I didn't like it. It wasn't enough for me. I didn't get the modifier on the attacks that I wanted. So I'd rather the endurance, and then the extra rejuve is actually really nice in this deck. This deck has a ton of rejuvenation with the red duck, the mastery itself, putting back a card. Likewise, the level 1 can rejuvenate you about 2 or 3 cards of combat pretty easily. The level 2 can rejuvenate you cards. The level 3 likewise puts a card. So like you have your first 3 levels are going to be putting cards back into your deck. Your Mastery's putting cards back into your deck. Red Duck is putting cards back into your deck. Like, I've actually survived at like 15 cards with this deck for like 2 or 3 combats without even lowering the amount of cards that I've had. So we have blocking hand at 2. We don't need that much anger, but we do want enough anger to level when we want, especially against hyper aggro physical decks. So that's why we want the extra anger inside of a physical block itself. Because when we're facing a hyper aggro physical deck, you want to jump to the level 2 as fast as possible, just to get that extra block. So, and that's why blocking hand's perfect. And not only that, but it also gives you 2 stages. So, you know, the dashing swords, the sword slashes that cost stages, that helps out there too. So even though we're a physical aggro deck and we're going to be stage locking energy decks, we want to have an energy block. And my energy block of choice is Red Interference. And the reason for this is 1 card and 1 card only, and I've done this several times on stream, and that is Trunk Slam. The greatest combo is right here, guys. You may search your life deck. No, search your banish zone for a styled attack and place it on the top of your discard pile. Hey, this card's considered styled. So literally, you're facing an energy beats deck, you enter on them, do an attack. Okay, they open with an energy, you Red Interference, put Slam, that was banished since it's banished after use, put Slam on the top, activate your Mastery, pitch a card, and then you just use 3 cards to do 2 attacks on the opponent to end combat. If they didn't block any of your attacks, you pushed some serious damage on them, dodge out of combat, get an anger. This is the greatest Trunks combo, makes Slam 10 times better than it ever imagine. Like, it's hard to believe Slam can be better than it is, but this card makes it better than it is. Red Stop at 3, of course, for the drills and the Omni block. Time is a Warrior's Tool, of course. Sphere. 2 copies of Sphere. And I don't own Heroic Sphere, but I got my Villain Sphere in here as a proxy, and then I need a second one. I'll be getting these soon because I'm about to say, you know, I know you're going to comment in the comment section below, do you really need spheres? Do you need spheres? Yes. And let me tell you why you need spheres. And it is literally just a meta call. It is based on the meta. Now, this is the first deck list video that I'm showing you guys that I'm saying you need spheres. And that is because 70 to 80% of the decks out there are now running 3 staple events. They're running Unleashed, they're running Stare Down or Confrontation, and they're running Time. And all 3 of those we don't like. So we are running 2 spheres because you have 2 cards in your deck that is very closely guaranteed to be able to shut down 7 cards in the opponent's deck. So very good, counter ratio there, and that's why Sphere, in my opinion, is now a staple in pretty much every single deck. You're going to be wanting to play 2 or 3 spheres. And Red Restriction is amazing in the current meta. Now, I played 2 games in the new meta, in the new Awakening set, and I immediately knew that I needed Red Restriction in my deck because it shuts down, I think, like 5 of the 6 new Masteries. It shuts down Radiant, it shuts down Retribution, it shuts down Resolute. Yes, it does shut down our own Mastery. You can't use the physical attack from the top, but that's okay because that's a minor effect as far as we're concerned. We don't need that effect to function with our deck. But Red Restriction is just, it's going to shut down Unleash builds. It's going to shut down any control builds. It's amazing. 3 of in this deck. It's been great. So because we added Red Restriction, we added back in Red Stylish Entrance. So now I tested out this card a little bit when I first made this deck. I started it as a 3 of. I dropped it later because it has amazing synergy with Quickness Drill. So if this card is banished from the top of your discard pile when entering combat, draw a card. So you add this card with Quickness Drill. If it's in your hand, you can just discard it, draw the bottom of your discard pile, banish it with your Mastery to draw an extra card. So it was great with Quickness Drill, but at 3 copies and only 1 activator, I found it lackluster. But since we now have 4 ways to activate this card in our deck, Just the extra card in combat, even if we just simply draw a red card to activate with the Mastery, it's worth it. So I've actually, since, I'm still testing this card out, so I would say this is like towards the end of the chopping block, but I like it. I like it for the 3 endurance mostly. This deck needs more endurance. But so far, in 5 games that I've played with it, 3 of those games I've gotten a card draw with it, early game. So it's been working out great. So that's it for the events, guys. So now let's talk about the planning cards. So these are the planning cards that we are running currently in this build. So you can see we're running 4 style drills and 4 non-style drills. See, and you can see how aggressive this deck is. Now, even though this is a combo drill sword deck, the only drills that we run are ones that we can tutor with the level 1. We play 4. Just 2 of the aggressive sword, just to ensure that if they banish one, if they hit one for damage early, I'm going to still be able to get it out. 1 quickness drill. Honestly, the only reason why this is at 1 is because it's limit 1 per deck. If it was not limit 1 per deck, I'd run 2 of these very quickly. Cornerstone, one of the strongest drills in this deck. And likewise, hidden power drill is extremely powerful in this deck. You know, when all your attacks are doing +2, you don't really care about the AT chart, and with all the leveling decks now gaining 10 stages when jumping up and down with Unleashed, like, this card is so great. But it's a very timely card, you have to know when to play it. So, and then the 4 style drills that we play, Embarrassing Drill for forward stance drill, red stop, and red heel kick. So we have 7 cards in the deck that activate off of Embarrassing Drill. This lets us activate effects when we're wall breakered, when we're at 0 anger, when we're locked. It also helps us just level and control our anger just in a better way. I love this drill, plus it has 2 endurance. Forward stance drill, strongest red drill in the deck. This is normally the drill that I play first, just for the extra defense. You can just win games alone by generating all the extra card advantage you get from this drill. You have a free block on the board. It only costs 1 anger. Of course, cover drill, it has 3 endurance and then also just shuts down prevention. You have no way of activating the parenthetical effect, and that's okay. We don't really care about that. That's fine. Just all damage from all your physical attacks can't have their damage prevented. Super strong. And of course, cornerstone of this deck is red sword slicing drill. You only need 1 of these. Even though it's so important in the deck, you only need 1. Because you have 6 ways of tutoring it from the banish zone. You have 6 ways of tutoring it from the life deck. Even more so because you can actually tutor it with aggressive sword drill, which we'll go over a little later. But yeah, when this card enters play during combat, if it's the first time it entered play, you get to tutor any card, any attack card with sword in the title and put it to your hand. So this can get you dashing sword, this can get you knee bash, this can get you just, you know, just a sword stab if you want extra anger. And then also whenever you play a card with sword in the title, your opponent loses 1 stage, which just goes along with with dashing sword attack so well, -3 stages. Just the combos that you can do with this deck are insane. You can do 5, 6, 7, 8 attacks in a single combat pretty easily, you know, with dashing sword, with heel kicks, and this card. Just tons and tons of combos. We're going to go over those right now. So guys, this is it. This is the deck list. And now let's go over how you play. How do you play? What are some combos to do? Let's do it. Alright guys, so now we're going to talk about how to use this deck. What are some of the awesome combos that you can do? So like as I said before, this is a mid-range deck. So you're kind of sacrificing the first combat, kind of. But this is more of an early aggressive deck than some decks. The reason that I say that you're sacrificing the first combat is 9 times out of 10, the first drill, you know, this guy, you have a power, use when entering combat, search your life deck for a non-style drill, place it into play. So the 9 times out of 10, the first drill you're going to get is aggressive sword drill. So now, because you already searched your life deck, you can't then activate aggressive sword drill. And that's why I'm saying that you kind of like like sacrifice the first combat because you're just gonna tutor this drill and it's gonna do nothing for you besides make a few of your attacks unpreventable, maybe. So but however, if you draw this drill naturally, we do play 2 copies of this drill. And you know, maybe twice in 10 games, I draw this drill naturally within the first 2 turns. If that's the case, then you are gonna go hyper aggressive. Once you get this drill in play, and you keep it in play, you're going hyper aggressive. You want to keep pressure on the opponent. You get extra cards in your hand. You have attacks that tutor other attacks, that tutor drills in play. You have lots of card advantage in your hand versus like Goku, who has just like card advantage just on his powers, just drawing. So you're going to want to go hyper aggressive. And I don't care who you're facing, okay? Do not be afraid to go aggressive on Goku. I don't care that he's drawing extra cards, okay? Early game, he is just as susceptible to drawing dead as any other deck. And the way that we built this deck, we built it to go early aggressive. We want to do that. We don't run that many planning cards, and the planning cards that we do run, we're either tutoring them with our power or we can pitch them for mastery. So go early aggressive, guys. Now, there is some times where I will tutor Quickness Drill before aggressive sword drill, and that it's just very seldomly, like maybe once in like 50 games or so, I won't tutor aggressive sword drill first. If there's a card on the bottom that I really, really want or something like that, I'll tutor Quickness Drill. 9 times out of 10, this is the first drill you're tutoring. 9 times out of 10, the first red drill you're tutoring is forward stance drill. So after you start to get the train rolling with your drills a little bit, you know, you're playing with anger, you're gaining some anger. There are several combos that are excellent with this deck. You're going to want to, of course, your second drill will either be the Quickness Drill. 9 times out of 10, it's Quickness Drill. Because what Quickness Drill does for you is it allows you to set up your top with Ruthless. There are several non-style cards in this deck. So it's possible for you to have the top be non-styled. So you're going to want the Quickness Drill out to ensure that the top is always red. And sometimes what I'll do is I will tutor out with Aggressive Sword if I only have 1 card in my hand and I don't want to discard it for whatever reason, like let's say it's Time as a Warrior's Tool or something, or a good block. I will tutor out red sword stab and discard it with Quickness Drill to banish it with mastery. I will do that to get my mastery buff. I won't do that often because I want red sword stab is like your bread and butter sword attack. You want them in your deck. You want them in your discard pile. They do +6 stages with the mastery, raise you in anger. You want them. So you do not want to always do that, but it is an option for you. So other combos that you can do with Aggressive Sword Drill. Let's say you have a Freezing Beam in your hand. Okay. So you enter combat, you have Freezing Beam in your hand. You have a sword card in your discard pile that you want to tutor. Let's say, I don't know, let's say it's a Knee Bash. You have a Knee Bash in your discard pile you want to tutor. You have a Freezing Beam in your hand. But sadly, you haven't seen your Sword Slicing Drill yet. Darn. Well, enter combat. Oh, look, I have this card. I can get a sword card when entering combat. Well, just tutor Slicing Sword Drill to your hand. Okay? Use Quickness Drill to discard it. Now it's on the top of your discard pile. Draw the bottom card of your discard pile, whatever that card is. Use Mastery to banish it just because, you know, it's a red card. Why not use Mastery to banish it? First action, go Freezing Beam. Bring out your Sword Slicing Drill from your discard pile and tutor the sword card you want to your hand. I've done this very many times, maybe once every other game. It's a great little combo to do just to get your Sword Slicing Drill out early game when you have Freezing Beam in your hand. So you can see why we play 3 of these, even though it's an energy attack. We don't care for its damage because the combo potential that it gives us is through the roof. Of course, another cool combo with the Quickness Drill is with Stylus Entrance. I talked about this earlier. So you just drop Stylus Entrance when entering combat with Quickness Drill, banish it with Mastery, draw an extra card. Probably another one of my really favorite combos with this deck is the Aerial Assault Right Punch combo. I love this combo. So what I'll do is I'll do Aerial Assault. Maybe I'll have some sort of anger. Maybe I'll have 1 anger. I'll do Right Punch from my hand, get a drill. Then I'll Mastery, get 2 anger immediately from revealing a card, and then tutor 2 or 3 drills with Right Punch. I love that. And it even this combo, it even ensures that if your opponent is lowering your anger, you still get to have the tutor for drills. It's excellent. So that's pretty much it, guys. Like, there's a lot of intricate little things you can do with this deck that you're going to have to learn over time. But just in general, you're going to want to activate either Quickness or Mastery first. One of these two in general. Then the Aggressive Sword Drill, then your Power. So usually it goes in this order. Usually. Like these 3. Sometimes you'll do Aggressive Sword first to get a red card for Quickness Drill, like I said before, but very seldomly do I do that because I don't like banishing my sword stabs. I don't like doing that. And other than that, guys, like, just play this deck. It's super fun. It's super strong. Very, very strong deck. And just comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you think some of my card choices are off or they could be better. We're going to have a lot of Decklist videos coming out. I told you guys I'm going to have like 1 million Trunks videos coming out. And I was not lying. I'm going to have a dynamic Trunks build that I'm going to put online. I'm trying to build a more control-y black Trunks build. We're going to see how that works out. Likewise, I'm going to put some of my Vegeta builds online, and I'm going to be doing a massive update to old Decklists. That's the Nail Namekian, the Orange Wheelo, a bunch of other ones. I'm going to be doing massive updates to those. So stay tuned, guys. Please don't hesitate to hit that like button if you like this video. And as always, turn your dial to Random Number Gaming for weekly updates for the Dragon Ball Z card game.